absolute beauty. How lucky am I? Absolute beauty, hey? Painted rock lobster.
To escape his girlfriend's demands, Da Zhuang gets stranded on a deserted island. Surprisingly, his survival skills are so adept that he becomes the happiest man in island survival. Upon arrival, Da Zhuang notices tracks on the ground. These marks are from saltwater crocodiles, showing they're on this beach. Da Zhuang tracks the crocodile signs, drawing on years of experience with his girlfriend. If there's a ditch, there's likely water, and fresh water is vital for surviving on an island. Da Zhuang finds giant conch shells here, but he doesn't care why they died here. Now, he needs to find a suitable spot to build a Da Zhuang scales a high spot on the island to survey the area. A stunning beach lies below, where crocodiles forage in the shallow waters. Da Zhuang keeps climbing, eager to take in the island's full view. After a considerable effort, Da Zhuang finally reaches the top of the island, which is made of rocks. With several beautiful beaches, Da Zhuang plans to survive on each beach for a while. Once he gets a feel for the island, Da Zhuang picks a good path to head down. After a lot of scrambling, Da Zhuang finally reaches the seaside. Surrounded by rocks, Da Zhuang has to get into the water to reach the beach. Waves near rocks are strong. Da Zhuang almost gets into trouble. Fortunately, he returns to the beach safely, feeling great after narrowly escaping danger. There is a lot of discarded trash on the beach, which might be useful for his survival on the island. Coconut trees line the shore, providing Da Zhuang a freshwater source for now. Coconuts are vital on a deserted island. Water hydrates and restores electrolytes. Coconut meat offers carbs. Now, just needs to light a fire, construct a shelter, and find food. Plenty of small conch shells dot the rocks, which Da Zhuang cleverly uses as fishing bait. As he waits for a catch, Da Zhuang spots numerous conch and shell fossils on the rocks, which seem to be hundreds of years old, as the surfaces of these shells have started to fossilize, leaving him puzzled. How could there be such a variety of conch and shell fossils together? What caused this? Da Zhuang unexpectedly discovers small white clams in the sand. If he collects enough, he can still have a satisfying meal. Da Zhuang opens white clams for fishing bait, but triggerfish swiftly snatch it away. Catching fish here proves tougher than expected, so Da Zhuang keeps gathering conch shells from the rocks, as the conch meat is a delicacy for the fish. Soon, Da Zhuang successfully catches a fish, which boosts his confidence, and he continues to try fishing here. Soon, he snags another small fish, and Da Zhuang tries to light a fire to grill it, but the collected tinder won't ignite, possibly due to high humidity. What seemed like a simple task of starting a fire kept Da Zhuang busy until nightfall, before he succeeded. Surviving on a deserted island isn't simple. Da Zhuang boils seawater in giant clamshells. He adds today's catch of fish and some young white clams to the pot. On his first day on the island, despite the challenges, Da Zhuang skillfully enjoyed grilled fish and clam seafood. The next morning, Da Zhuang keeps exploring the island, spotting triggerfish feeding on the rocks. Rocks on the shore are dangerous. He must be careful while exploring. Da Zhuang discovered many giant clamshells here, resembling the ruins of clams. He aimed to traverse the rocks to the island's far side, spotting numerous holes in them. These holes connect to the seabed, and falling into them could be life-threatening. It's currently low tide, so the waves aren't strong. Soon, Da Zhuang reached a new beach, but he still saw some tracks. He wasn't sure if they were from crocodiles or turtles, but the environment looked decent. Seeing a vast grove of coconut trees, Da Zhuang chose this spot for his shelter. He gathered some nuts from the ground and stumbled upon an old coconut, hoping for a taste of sweet coconut water, but it almost made him vomit his last meal. Unwilling to give up, he grabbed a coconut to crack open. This time, the smell didn't overwhelm him. There was no coconut water inside, but Da Zhuang still ate the meat to boost his energy. The nuts on the ground were also not good. Each one he cracked open was inedible. Fortunately, the last one revealed a kernel, providing a bit of energy. He sliced a tree root and rubbed it to toughen it up, making the rope more durable. Then he used a knife to cut down a bamboo. Da Zhuang planned to build a shelter here. He split a bamboo in half. He bent it between rocks and wood to create a semicircle. The shore's sea breeze was intense, so Da Zhuang aimed to construct a windproof shelter and swiftly assembled its framework. Next, he just needed to cover the roof. Coconut trees were abundant here. Their large leaves could be used as the roof of the shelter. Da Zhuang cut down some leaves to cover the shelter's framework and quickly constructed a wind and rain-resistant shelter. After 2 tough days on the island, at last, Da Zhuang has his own spot. He even uses a leaf as a mattress. This old coconut acts as a pillow, offering shelter. Da Zhuang crafted a long spear from a piece of bamboo and took it to the rocks in search of food. He successfully caught a dead rock crab, which smelled a bit off. Hungry, Da Zhuang searched the rocks but found nothing. Back at camp, he grabbed his pillow to eat. He noticed the resources were scarce and decided to look for food elsewhere on the island. Soon, he finds a new beach. and quickly notices tracks in the sand. He spots eggshell-like objects, likely from turtles laying eggs. De Zhuang found various items here, washed up by the sea. These items might take centuries to break down. De Zhuang spotted a cave ahead, which looked like a wallaby nest, seemingly uninhabited. De Zhuang continues exploring the island, climbing up the rocks and discovering turtle shell remnants. It was likely left by an eagle preying on a turtle. He climbed up along the rocks until he reached the top of a rock, where he gazed out at the endless sea. Escaping the deserted island has become less important. The most crucial thing now is to find food and survive here. De Zhuang discovers a dead crab and many scattered shells on the ground. Why did they perish on the rocks? From above, De Zhuang noticed sharks in the shallow waters. What surprised him the most was discovering high-purity sea salt here. For De Zhuang, sea salt is vital. It enhances food flavor. Sea salt supplies vital electrolytes, aiding in fluid balance and preventing dehydration. More importantly, sea salt can be used to preserve food, extending its shelf life, boost its survival odds. The rocks above contain sea salt and crab shells. This implies the sea may have once covered the rocks. Could the island have been underwater before? De Zhuang explores the rocks with his spear, finding many rock lines, but they're too quick, making it more hassle than it's worth to catch them. So De Zhuang turned his attention to the big fish underwater, using a spear to splash the water. He tried to attract big fish this way. I must say this idea was really too naive. The deserted island is full of clumps of grass that, if you sit on them directly, will cause you unbearable pain. These are all thorny bushes. After wandering, low tide came. De Zhuang and a kid began beachcombing. He turned over a rock and found a small crab hiding underneath. Eating a tiny crab isn't worth the effort. De Zhuang aimed to catch bigger blue crabs. The mangroves are teeming with blue crabs and sharp-shelled snails on the mudflats. The area swarmed with mosquitoes and insects, covering De Zhuang's feet in bites. So he applied mud on his feet to prevent further bites. Finding nothing in the mangroves, De Zhuang moved on to the mudflat, where he discovered a scallop on the ground. When he pulled it up, I suddenly realized that bamboo clams contain meat. Despite De Zhuang's extensive island survival experience, he'd never encountered such a large bamboo clam hole with a crab inside. Still, De Zhuang loves bamboo clams. He noticed a hole in the ground. Every beachcomber knows that these holes definitely contain seafood. De Zhuang cast his fishing hook and unexpectedly caught a fish from the hole. Papua River fish shift stones to create holes and nests. They look tender and delicious. But for De Zhuang, who is used to seafood buffets, De Zhuang found these little fish unappealing. So he released it back into the hole. The mud flat was full of bamboo clams resembling scallops. Picking up a few pounds of them would make for a hearty meal. De Zhuang discovered many stingrays in the shallow waters. Stingray tails can attack people, so you must be careful when catching them. De Zhuang raised his fish spear and directly struck the stingray, easily catching one the size of a chicken heart. To ensure safety, the stingray's poisonous barb must be removed from its tail. The stingray's barb sits mid-tail and can be swiftly sliced off with a knife. The barb has many hooks. Don't try to remove it yourself if stung. Avoid self-removal. Visit a hospital for doctor assistance. Apart from the rich marine life, this deserted island is home to elusive small prey. De Zhuang spotted many animal tracks beneath a wild fruit tree. He assumed animals ate these fruits daily. In the bushes, De Zhuang found animal droppings on a seafood-rich island. De Zhuang doesn't want to spend time hunting. Next, it's time to cook dinner. De Zhuang made 2 holes in the ground for better airflow to keep the fire burning well. This helps the fire burn better. And tonight's meal is a white-spotted stingray. The shallow waters near the island are teeming with stingrays. De Zhuang could eat a stingray daily and still have plenty left. He grilled the prepared stingray directly on the charcoal, wasting high-quality ingredients. After waiting, the stingray was cooked. De Zhuang tore open the charred skin, revealing the white, tender, and juicy fish inside. The fish skin keeps it moist during grilling, so even if it gets burnt, the fish remains tasty. Likely falls short of grilled bamboo clam flavor. De Zhuang split open, showing a full scallop inside. It seemed a bit firm. It didn't impact the bamboo clam's taste or texture. On the 3rd morning, after the tide went out, De Zhuang headed to the beach to collect seafood, finding stingrays all around. De Zhuang noticed something intriguing. Numerous tiny fountains dotted the ground. The water sprayed felt refreshingly cool, a result of underground water through layers of sand and rock. If these fountains originate from deeper underground layers, the water could cool on the surface, feeling icy to touch. To determine if the water is fresh, besides tasting for saltiness, one can also judge by observing the water flow, like De Zhuang did by digging a large pit. If these fountains continuously spray water with a large volume, it could be a stable underground freshwater source. If the water volume is small and sprays periodically, it might be a saltwater source related to seawater. De Zhuang judged the spring's water output by the way the water flowed, indicating a large output. This implies it might be underground freshwater. Yet, as it cleared up, the tide was rising. And when Dezhuang tasted the water, there's still a salty taste, likely due to the rising tide. Dezhuang keeps examining the rock layout on the deserted island. Dezhuang wonders if the island's appearance suggests past inhabitants, like Robinson Crusoe. The inside of the cave is roomy, perfect for a long-term shelter. Leaving the cave, Dezhuang spotted eagle-nosed fish swimming in the shallows. Each of these giant long-nosed fish was estimated to weigh over 10 pounds. Dezhuang sneaks up with his fish spear as the eaglefish play blissfully. They had no idea that the dangerous creature Dezhuang was closing in. Dezhuang took the chance to strike fiercely, but was surprised when he missed the garfish, even up close. Frustrated, Dezhuang didn't catch the fish, but he spotted a lobster in the shallow water. Holding his fish spear, Dezhuang slowly approached and attempted to spear the lobster. The lobster's shell was tough, but luckily, it scurried towards the shore rocks. It tucked itself into a gap between the rocks, just as Dezhuang wanted. The rock was sizable. Catching a hefty lobster from the crevice was quite tricky. Dezhuang saw the lobster at the hole's entrance, wedged it with a fish spear, and pulled it out from the other side. The lobster's antennae were half a meter long, and even with only half its head showing, this sight left Dezhuang feeling astonished.
Oh, yes, you beauty! Oh my goodness! How lucky am I? I'm going to be eating well tonight because that is a beautiful, beautiful crayfish. Yes! Absolute beauty, hey? Painted rock lobster.
The 10-pound lobster was plenty for a satisfying meal for Dezhuang. Dezhuang quickly organizes a beach cookout to roast the protein-rich lobster. And prolonged food scarcity often results in decreased protein levels in the body. This can weaken physical strength and immunity. A large lobster provides a good protein boost, maintain strength, restore energy, increase survival chances. On the fourth day, Dezhuang's daily routine begins with exploring the deserted island. He came across a massive ant nest, with a flip-flop resting on top of it. Here, Dezhuang discovered a new beach. This beach was littered with trash. Amidst the scattered hemp ropes and glass bottles, Dezhuang's attention is drawn to a single transparent mineral water bottle. On a deserted island, finding transparent glass or bottles can help start a fire. Dezhuang filled a big bottle with water and grabbed an old coconut. The dry coconut husk fibers make excellent fire-starting material. Simply rub them gently with your hands to create tinder. Dezhuang uses water to focus the tinder, and it takes about 15 minutes to ignite the tinder, requiring only a gentle blow to successfully start a fire. Once he has fire, Dezhuang plans to gather food. He crafts a simple primitive fish spear. He crafted the fish spear using the stingray's tail barbs, which naturally have hooks. Ideal for crafting a fish spear, Dezhuang uses it to hunt in the shallows, finding oysters at the mangrove roots. At low tide, moray eels show up, and Dezhuang aims to catch one for grilling. As he approaches, the eel is gone, and he doesn't catch it. Plenty of oysters were on the rocks, and opening one showed a rich source of protein. The island's clean environment means these oysters can be eaten raw, offering a fresh and sweet taste. Dezhuang found the front of a damaged inflatable raft on the beach. Dezhuang guessed the raft was badly damaged, maybe by a shark attack while it was moving. Dezhuang knew this firsthand from hunting with a fish spear. The sea fish were too quick, so Dezhuang couldn't catch them. He was thirsty. The island had plenty of coconut trees. The coconuts on the ground were undrinkable, so Dezhuang scaled a tree to gather fresh ones. On a deserted island, coconuts are vital for survival. Their water refreshes you. Coconut meat fills the stomach. Dezhuang continued diving for fish with a homemade spear. There were plenty of fish here, but his homemade spear was ineffective, so he had to dive to catch fish. The shallow waters had a vast coral reef, which was like a backyard for sea fish. With some luck, food and drink aren't a concern here. Dezhuang found a live clam half a meter wide. It was still alive. Soon, Dezhuang encountered a school of fish. He raised his spear to try hunting, but each attempt yielded nothing. If he had a rubber band spear, he might have caught several fish with one shot, even when hunting among thousands of fish. Yet, Dezhuang still came up empty-handed until he spotted a stranded grouper. The grouper was moving between the rocks, giving Dezhuang a chance. Finally, Dezhuang successfully caught a grouper, weighing about 2 pounds. After a long day, Dezhuang finally caught a fish and quickly lit a fire to grill it. Tonight's dinner was charcoal grilled grouper. The fire was too hot. To keep the grouper from burning, Dezhuang tossed some sand onto the fire, which cooled the charcoal and offered solid protection. As the fish cooked, Dezhuang roasted and tweaked a stick. A roasted stick makes a sturdier spear, and the grouper is finally cooked. Dinner tonight features grilled grouper and oysters. Dezhuang has been beach sleeping for days. Shelter isn't necessary, but night mosquitoes are annoying. Unable to sleep, De Zhuang headed to the shore to try beachcombing. While doing so, he discovered a cross, which startled him. Why was this cross hidden during the day but visible at night? On the fifth morning, Da Zhuang quickly started a fire, dismissing the cross he noticed the night before. He gathered wild fruits for breakfast and noticed coconuts beneath the trees. If these coconuts are still fresh, they're drinkable. Once he removed the outer fibers, he tapped the shell with a knife to easily crack open the coconut. Coconut meat is edible. Adding wild fruit juice enhances flavor. Da Zhuang resumes exploring the island. After the unsettling cross incident last night, Da Zhuang is too scared to remain on this beach. He took his spear and headed into the mangrove area, planning to survive in the mangrove habitat next. Mangroves are places where many crabs and small fish hide from predators. In shallow waters, large creatures are visible. Da Zhuang spotted sharks frolicking, and he slowly approached with his spear. But before he got close, sharks darted off swiftly, shallow waters teeming with fish, providing Da Zhuang numerous chances to attempt and miss. Spearfishing for large fish on a deserted island. Although the fish appear nearby, elements such as light refraction, water resistance, and target movement, the actual hit rate is quite low, making catching fish in the water a complex skill challenge. On his first day on the deserted island, Da Zhuang noticed tracks that showed crocodiles were around. I didn't expect to encounter it today. Da Zhuang witnessed a shark chasing small fish. It was truly magnificent. He has always wanted to hunt a shark to eat, but sadly, he missed it even up close. He strolls over the rocks. The surface of the rocks resembled the cratered landscape of Mars, with giant conch shells fused into the rocks, seemingly beginning to fossilize. There are many large conch shells on the reef, and Da Zhuang spotted a big green crab here. As Da Zhuang got closer, the green crab lifted its claws defiantly. But to the island's cleverest survivor, the crab's claws were far from intimidating, but rather made Da Zhuang see it as a tasty treat. He swiftly captured the large green crab. Today's breakfast is sorted. This big green crab is enough for a hearty meal. On a deserted island, it's best to catch bigger male crabs for survival. Female crabs should be returned to the wild to support reproduction. Besides crabs, eels are also commonly found, but Da Zhuang doesn't like eating eels. Plus, he's already nabbed a big crab and won't waste food if it's sufficient for a meal. During low tide, the mangrove area is rich with food, where stingrays weighing several pounds roam freely. Beneath the mangrove roots, numerous large creatures find refuge. Da Zhuang once snagged a grouper there. With careful observation, you can spot their presence, and every step you take might startle them. In the mangroves, Da Zhuang spots stunning corals, marking the tide's lowest ebb. Fish often conceal themselves, so you must stay alert to catch them. Da Zhuang found sea creatures, like fist-sized red sea urchins, a giant stingray buried in the seagrass, and a large eel resting under the mangrove roots, and a grouper startled by branches. Da Zhuang seized the moment and launched a fierce attack, successfully catching a 3-pound grouper, hitting it right on the head, making it immediately unable to fight back. Returning to camp, Da Zhuang saw a big green crab and, following his rule of not wasting food, chose to catch it for dinner. This crab was fiercer, and Da Zhuang negotiated with it using his fish spear. He eventually convinced the crab to become his dinner. As the tide began to rise, Da Zhuang rushed to the beach as the sparkling seawater slowly inundated the mangroves. If he didn't leave soon, all would be submerged. Just as he was leaving, Da Zhuang discovered a third large green crab, even bigger than the previous 2 he caught. Seawater reached Da Zhuang's calves, yet crab pincers reached the surface. When Da Zhuang picked up the crab, he realized just how large it was. Sharks feeding echoed. Da Zhuang in the mangrove maze. Sharks were hunting all around. As Da Zhuang returned to cook, he saw the grouper he left on the shore. But sadly, sharks were drawn in by the rising tide. Half of the grouper had been eaten, and the tide was rising faster than he had anticipated. Eager to catch another grouper, Da Zhuang relied on his coastal fishing expertise. He quickly spotted a grouper resting under the tree roots, its flesh looking delicious. Sadly, he couldn't catch it, and stingrays lacking meat were all around. Some were hiding in the sand, with only their tails exposed. Da Zhuang prefers eating grouper more.
Oh, he just jumped. Hey, come back here. I think I might have got him this time. Oh yeah. Woo! That is a beautiful black spot estuary cod. Oh man, I'm happy with that. Really, really happy with that. That is gonna be a great meal. I'm just gonna put him out of his misery with this knife here, but that is a great, great meal for us. Mission success.
After a busy morning, Da Zhuang was hungry and thirsty. He refused to waste the half-eaten grouper attacked by a shark. He held on to half of the fish head and ate it raw. Grouper meat is rich in fat, making it great for sashimi. I'd use the fish head for coconut soup. Once energized, De Zhuang began working on building a fire for dinner, a task that requires physical effort. De Zhuang searched for dry tinder on old coconuts. When he checked the camera again, he discovered something alarming. A black ball he picked up on the beach. Soon, he felt dizzy and nauseous, realizing that object may be radioactive. In the wild, avoid picking up items. Treasure can be dangerous. De Zhuang gathered dry bamboo to start a fire using friction.
Oh yeah. Go, you good thing.
Observing Da Zhuang's survival skills. Thriving in the wild requires hands. As the charcoal burned, Da Zhuang gathered several nearby bottles. Some bottles still had leftover fresh water, which Da Zhuang gathered up. Once the charcoal was ready, Da Zhuang placed the grouper and 2 large green crabs on it. It's surprising that this small pile of charcoal can cook several pounds of food. While grilling, Da Zhuang flipped the crabs now and then to ensure even roasting. By now, the grouper was charred black, and the crabs were almost dried out. Dinner today featured 2 big green crabs and a grouper. While crab meat is limited, a 2-pound green crab is enough to satisfy one's cravings. He opens the crab shell, uncovering succulent meat with ocean saltiness. As if with one bite, you are immersed in the embrace of the ocean. Crab meat is rich and delicate, melting, with subtle sweetness and oceanic taste. He cuts into the grilled grouper, revealing its crispy exterior and tender interior, with heat enhancing its aroma. The fish is firm and snow white, with a fresh taste, hint of smokiness, and rich grilling aroma. Each bite is satisfying. This simple yet hearty dinner not only fills an empty stomach, tribute to Da Zhuang's hard work. On day 6 morning, Da Zhuang opts to make a distillation device, gathering glass bottles, and a hollow bamboo. He plans to obtain fresh water by heating seawater. After some basic tweaks, he's crafted a makeshift distillation device for the island. De Zhuang pours seawater into a bottle. Vapor cools in the bamboo tube as it heats, creating droplets in the glass bottle. This technique works well on the island, and De Zhuang soon gathers a good amount. De Zhuang heads to the shore and snags a big green crab. That's it for this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more thrilling deserted island survival adventures.